Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Wesley Price, your host, and this is the Black Excellence Podcast. I like to start off talking to all Reinhardt students and tell you just a beautiful story. It was 1966, which is only 56 years ago, when the first African-American student, James A. Tay, enrolled in Reinhardt University. This is just a beautiful story for Reinhardt students, and it just shows how we haven't really come as far as people like to make it seem like we have. Now I have my co-host with me.
I'm Lorenzo Robinson.
And then I have a special guest who is...
I beg your pardon. No, let me stop. JC Perry.
We are all African-American students at Reinhardt University. Me being a track and field athlete, Lorenzo and JC both being football players. And we hold, a special part of the campus being athletes, which holds most of the student body. But I like to give y'all a demographic number for Reinhardt. Did y'all know that this is still a PWI? Let me just ask y'all that.
I didn't know that. I can see it.
You can see it?
We're definitely, outnumbered. I don't feel any hostility,
right?
Really, but, it's definitely not a whole lot of people that look like us, unless you just go to the athletic facility.
Right.
Just around campus.
JC?
Of course. It's a private PWI. And I knew that coming in though.
Yeah. It's not anything
right.
Caught me on guard.
But this is the number that I feel like is gonna surprise y'all. How many students do you think are Black or African American on this campus? Out of 1,000 and the 1,200 number of students of enrollment.
Percentage?
No, just give me a number.
Probably.
Like you thinking 500, 600, 700?
I'm thinking like 450.
JC?
300 probably.
The number is 208.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like that, which is great. But let's just, get into it. All right, we're all African-American men. It's a tough time for us. We have a target on our back in the community. Believe it or not, we lead demographics with suicide numbers. Let me get a health and wellness check for y'all. Mental, physical, and spiritual.
Like 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 for everything.
Yeah, I'm chilling, bro.
Blessed. Good to hear, my brother. Lorenzo.
I'm chilling.
Lorenzo.
Mentally, I'm doing all right. I'd say I'm probably at about like a 7. My mind is strong.
Mm-hmm.
Just, there's always you always have thoughts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just wayward thoughts. And, you try to rein them in as much as you can. You try to stay busy. You try to stay around people and
right.
things that make you feel good. So I can say that I'm at a 7 mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, it's probably the worst I've felt in a long time. Coming off of a surgery on my shoulder and everything. And, just all the years of football, man.
Right.
Just coming up on me, but I'm making it through. I can say I'm blessed because it could always be worse. That's what that's what I always say. It could always be worse. There are people that are dealing with much worse problems than a messed up shoulder,
right.
bum knee, or messed up hand or whatever. So I kind of just keep it all in stride.
Right.
Spiritually, I can say that I'm probably the strongest that I've been since I've been in college.
That's good.
I can definitely say that I'm in touch with that side of me. Just talking with different people, people that I trust the most about, the subjects like that, and when it comes to my heart and about my spirituality. So I can definitely say that I am in a pretty good place spiritually. So
that's good.
That's where I'm at right now.
I feel you on that. Me personally, I like to say I'm probably a 7 all across the board. And the reason I say that, mentally, like you said, my mind is strong, but it's always room to grow. And, we always have to work on evolution and just looking at ourselves in the mirror physically. I feel like I'm a 7 because there's still more work to be done. I'm not in the, where I want to be, but I'm okay spiritually. I got to grow in my faith too, but I'm also in tune with, what I was raised in. I was raised in a church. And the reason, like JC, I see you said 10 all across the board, but the reason I asked all that is so essential because we have a double like stigma on us. Like as men, we already don't express them. We're already taught by society to be not express emotions. And then as black men, we have a target on our back, which is also adds stress. So it's important for us to talk about stuff like that.
Yeah, no, but I think we have an obligation to be strong and not show. I don't know. I don't want to say not show too much emotion.
Is that not toxic masculinity, you don't think?
No, it's not actually. We actually need it right now in our society and as black people in general.
We do.
They try to oversensitize us.
Right.
And they try to demasculate us constantly. So I don't know. You need somebody in your corner that you can go to,
Right.
and vent to, but you gotta portray a strong person every day. As a black man.
Which is true, which is why I love to see stuff like African American people being uplifted for what they do. Like people like in the Atlanta area, like Tyler Perry or just even anybody, Simone Biles. A personal black excellence story that I like to talk about is Erin Jackson. She is the first black woman to win an individual medal in speed skating, which is obviously never been done before, but I feel like that is just so important to talk about from the aspect of black women as well, because they are pivotal in just us as a whole.
Women out there.
Right. And then
Perry, number 5, Reinhardt University.
let me ask y'all a question though. This is also a double standard on us as people. Do y'all know about the Sha'Carri Richardson situation?
I know a little bit about
The
it.
lady the one white lady in the Olympics that got
Right.
positive.
Right.
One test got the actual.
Well, see, that's the difference. Let me tell you. Sha'Carri Richardson, her mother had passed away. She used she used the drug, which is marijuana. She failed a drug test. They did not allow her to compete. Now, Camilla, what's the girl's name? Her name is Camilla. I don't know her last name, but she was actually found positive for a performance-enhancing drug.
Right.
And was still allowed to perform, still allowed to play.
Well, we knew that was the rules, though.
But see, why does the performing-enhancing drug is allowed and not weed? Like drug testing, let's get it right. Drug testing is anything that they find. So why do they let the weed go and not get on her about the performance-enhancing drug?
It was clarified too, though, when all that was going down with Sha'Carri. Like people could get away with performing.
Right.
But that too, in the location that Sha'Carri was in too, they weren't gonna let her go with. I don't know. That's Sha'Carri's fault at the end of the day, honestly.
But like you said,
come on, it's a freaking Olympic, dude. They're not going for that.
But even like you said on the Are You Sports Speak podcast, there's a double standard like in regards to Antonio Brown's vaccination status versus Aaron Rodgers. So is this not just a reoccurring issue for black athletes?
I don't feel like that one is. Maybe a little bit. Because, she is black and she did smoke weed. But at the end of the day, she wasn't supposed to.
Right.
I don't really think that was that situation is the same with the Aaron Rodgers and AB. I don't know if they could put that in the same bracket because Sha'Carri knew what she wanted. Wasn't supposed to do.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
Kind of referring to it's a figure skater, right? That tested positive for a performance enhancer. So, just like really quick, like what would help you? What would aid you more in competition? Smoking weed or taking a performance enhancing drug?
Obviously, performance enhancing.
So I don't even know the conversation that we're having. I don't even know why there's even another way to look at it. I think that it's an obvious double standard because there's no way that you should be able to get away with taking a PED, taking a steroid or whatever, and be able to skate across with weed. Like I don't understand how you can get penalized for taking something like if someone is an athlete and they're smoking weed.
Right.
If anything, it would
Hurt you more than helps you, right?
So if they're still able to perform at a high level, it's kind of on them.
Right.
When you're taking a performance enhancer, you're getting a clear advantage over the competition.
The thing is, though, okay, we're getting away from what we're trying to get.
That's all right, though.
It's supposed to be racial.
And I think
in the rules, whatever she did, obviously in the rule book it was allowed. If Sha'Carri would have done the performance enhancer, I'm sure she would have been allowed to compete. That the same girl did.
That's unfortunate, though.
It is for the sport, yeah, for the Olympic sport, yeah. But racially, Sha'Carri is literally in the rule, but that she wasn't supposed to do it. And like you're right before the Olympics, like what are you doing?
You're not supposed to take a performance enhancing drug either. That's why they do the testing. That is the whole purpose of the testing.
So it couldn't have been out of the rule context though. In the context of the Olympic handbook, whatever the Olympic handbook is, I don't even know what drugs she had or what she took. She was allowed to compete though. It couldn't have been something that's crazy. As we're making it seem like because they let her compete. If it was so crazy, they wouldn't have let her compete. This is the Olympics. It only happens every 4 years. That's what I'm saying. You feel me? Where I'm coming from?
I feel you.
Like weed is like literally in the handbook, and like if you get caught smoking weed, especially with the location they're at, like Japan was not going for it. You're not competing. Sha'Carri knew that.
All right. Hey,
So the 15-year-old.
hey, we're way off top. This is black excellence. We can't be talking about.
What you mean?
We can't be talking about that. You know what I'm saying?
It's black excellence.
Black excellence, man. We got to be. This is celebration. You feel me?
What you mean? No, we got.
I think we straight, to be honest.
We talking about our people.
We talking about our people. It's everything. It's a celebration and it's everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. I'm keeping it a buck with you.
Oh, so you want like that?
Yeah.
Oh, well then I'm finna get
Yeah.
it back.
I mean, I call my people out, dude. She was wrong.
All right, let's do it then.
All right. And then also with the 15-year-old figure skater, she was positive for she tested positive for a banned substance. 15. Banned for a banned substance.
So did they say why they let her compete? Though?
No. But see that is the thing that, and even Sha'Carri Richardson said she feels like the only difference is her race.
Yeah, obviously, yes. We live in times where that's apparent. I'm just saying, like, what's the rules? Like, I can't really speak on their situation because I don't know the rules of the Olympics. I know for a fact that she wasn't supposed to be smoking weed.
Right.
Weed was obviously outlawed in Japan, and if you smoke weed before the Olympics in that circumstance, in that criteria, you not performing in the Olympics. It didn't matter if you were black, white, orange, or purple.
I don't believe she was in Japan yet when she tested positive.
Yeah.
No, it didn't matter though. With Japan's rules though. Like, I mean, black, white, orange, or purple. I don't think
It's not like she brought it into the
Right.
No.
The country.
It was,
Come on, bro.
It was, you know.
And let me
Come on, I don't believe that you should not. Let me just put that disclaimer out there for everybody listening to me. I don't think that you should be outlawed for smoking weed or not performing at the Olympics. I think you should be able to perform with any drug, but I'm just saying, like, based off the Olympic rules and what Sha'Carri knew, and I guess whatever that little girl knew, I guess she knew she'd get away with it.
I mean, she didn't know anything.
Yeah.
She just did that.
Yeah.
Got caught, and then the International Olympic Committee allowed her to keep going.
Hey, I'm for one is all with self accountability, and Sha'Carri knew she wasn't supposed to be doing that before that time. You got the rest of your life to smoke weed.
I agree with that. If that's just an isolated statement, yeah,
Right.
I agree with that.
You have the rest
Obviously,
of
she knew what she was. Obviously, she knew that.
Down every 4 years.
But why is this 15-year-old girl able to take a banned substance and then still be able to? Is it a coincidence that
That's my
she's
point.
Caucasian, or is it more of a double standard?
That's my point. I don't know the rule book.
Right.
Like, obviously,
The rule book says that she got caught with a banned substance and she was at the mercy of the International Olympic Committee.
Same as
Same
Sha'Carri Richardson.
situation as Sha'Carri Richardson.
Really?
At
Yeah.
the mercy of the International Olympic Committee.
They could have let her compete.
The International Olympic Committee said Sha'Carri can't perform, and the International Olympic Committee said that the 15-year-old figure skater could perform. So, I mean, there's that.
And I totally get what you're saying, JC. Like,
I like self
you
accountability.
know the rules when you're partaking in what you're
black.
partaking in, right?
You know you're black.
And that's why
But why is it like that?
Right.
Like,
shouldn't
let's
be.
go both ways.
But if we gonna live in it, and I don't want to say start using pronouns, but if we gonna live in this society where as a black person you have to do everything all the way correct, and you need to acknowledge that, Sha'Carri, and you need to accept that, and you need to know that maybe smoking weed right now, even though the circumstances with my mother, maybe I need another way to cope right now because I do have the Olympics coming up, and it's only gonna come around every 4 years.
So that's his own like sort of like talk, right? So
Right.
we talk about like black people And this is something that has been the case for a long time, you know. And this is not just in sports, but just in life in general. How black people kind of have to be 2 times as good to get a certain job.
Right.
Then if they mess up a fraction of the way that someone else messes up, then, you know,
it's
everything's thrown out the window. So, like, that's just, you know, that's a double standard in and of itself.
Right.
And that's something that needs to be addressed. Yeah, that's a fact of life, but
the question, is this racial? That's obvious, yes. What are we actually getting at right?
Referring to the but see,
obviously, yeah, but are we trying to solve something? Like, that's what we need to be talking about. We know this is racial.
So what can we do?
Because as
not smoke weed the month before the Olympics because you know you're black and you know you about
But listen to me, JC.
But there's gonna be another black athlete.
Right. But listen to me, JC. This being a Black Excellence podcast, that's why I introduced it the way I did. We went from a story of triumph with Erin Jackson, and then we went to this topic. Now, I want to give Sha'Carri Richardson her flowers. She performed very well before she tested positive for smoking weed. So this is a great athlete who's shown that she can perform. But I just like to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly that comes with being African American in this country, which is a part of Black excellence, because Black is beautiful, and I am proud to be a Black American. So I want to ask you and talk to y'all about how can we address situations like this on a greater scale and bring light to these situations, because some people just may not know.
I don't know, dude. You can't do that. That's not the way to fix it, just to keep doing.
Right, which I totally understand. You got to take accountability.
Yeah, I'm with you that you have to take accountability, but there's going to be another black athlete that messes up. Right?
But see, that's the thing, though.
Saying, like, you know,
is that a mess up?
Humans mess up. Humans mess up.
Another black athlete that messes up, but there's also going to be another white athlete that messes up.
Right.
There's going to be another black person that messes up. There's also going to be another white person that messes up. Right. So what will the punishment be? There's going to be a black person that gets stopped at a traffic light today and is going to have to fear for their life. And there's also going to be a white person get stopped at that same light and be able to go on about their day without a care in the world.
Right.
So that's the double standard that we live with.
Right.
Like, we can say accountability, like, yeah, she shouldn't have been doing this. Of course she shouldn't have been doing that. But the 15-year-old shouldn't have been doing what she was doing. Yeah, we could say that, you know, black person shouldn't have been doing this, shouldn't have been doing that. But then this white person does something as bad or worse, and why is the punishment not the same?
Right.
So that's the double standard that we live with, and that's just the society that we're in.
But see,
I'm all for accountability, but for accountability going both ways. If we're held accountable, and if we're held to the table and crucified, then they need to be held to the table and crucified. Not talking about they, but just it needs to be equal, equality. And that's what if we're really equal, it has to be equal with everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it.
I like that take.
And even to Lorenzo's point with fearing for our lives in some situations, African Americans in unarmed shootings by police officers since 2014, we've been over 50% of the killings. So it's the double standard is not just in athletics or just, you know what I mean?
No, it's everyday life.
Exactly. So I feel like, and I totally understand accountability is a major part of life.
We attack the double standard, though. My angle is that you need to try to at least do everything you can so that it doesn't even come up in conversation.
Of course.
Right.
Of course we got to do
you
everything
can't put yourself in that situation.
Preventative measures.
Absolutely.
And then be mad.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know. I love Sha'Carri, though. Shout out Sha'Carri Richardson.
Give her flowers.
The other, what's the girl name? The ice skater?
No shout out to her, man.
Oh, man.
Shout out her, too. That's a finesse.
All right. You funny, JC. So we're going to switch gears. Let's talk about, we already talked about the Super Bowl, Are You Sports Speaks, but let's talk about halftime and what that meant culturally for us. Can y'all elaborate on that?
What do you mean?
Like, just from seeing, like, we've had African-American performers, but just the culture of the culture of Los Angeles and seeing who we saw infamous, I won't put his business out there, but Snoop Dogg. You got Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent. You know what I mean?
I could say that in terms of like a halftime show, it just felt different. Right? Like it really just felt like we were on like center stage.
Right, culturally represented.
Like it was a big situation when it comes to, especially because we know the history of the NFL, and even the recent history of the NFL when you talk about Colin Kaepernick kind of being blackballed and the way that black coaches aren't receiving opportunities. So like I don't want to say though that it was a diversion, because I do believe that the NFL is smart in getting Jay-Z to do halftime shows and getting him to bring all of these great African American and hip hop performers in. So I don't want to call it a diversion. But, I do think that they're smart in doing that. But I also think that it was a great show of representation.
Right.
Of, we can do this too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can be with, in the club. We could do our thing. We could have people, singing our thing, singing our songs in the streets. And then we could also go on a Super Bowl stage in front of millions and millions of people
and rock
that show too. So I think that was a big deal for us, and to have Eminem up there with those guys, I think was big for him to show that, like Eminem is hip hop. Like, Eminem may be, a white guy, you know what I'm saying? He may sell a lot of records, he may make some pop music, but Eminem is hip hop, you know what I'm saying? So I think that was big for him, and it showed solidarity to be with them and doing what he did specifically. When it comes to him taking the knee after his performance, I thought was the ultimate sign of solidarity and respect. So
let's be clear.
Okay.
I don't want to discredit nothing you just said, so I love what you said. And disclaimer, some of my takes may sound kind of a little radical or to some people, or a little harsh to some people. But let's go.
Let's go.
I love black people. I love the Super Bowl performance. And shout out Lil Baby. I think he needs to be the next Super Bowl. I just go ahead and put all rappers not all rappers for every Super Bowl, but I mean, let's get some more relevant people in there. We don't need to go reach back 20 years every time we need to get somebody to perform.
I mean, it's the legends though.
It's the legends. It's LA.
Give some credit to the legends.
Right.
Man,
I loved it. I love seeing Snoop Dogg.
And Kendrick is relevant.
Kendrick?
He is. I love the performance. But as a people, why are we getting so excited and wanting so badly for our rappers and stuff to be on a certain stage?
Because it's the same opportunities that are given to other performers or other people in general. We want those same opportunities.
Do we not know that we the best in music? If black people carry music.
So if we're the best,
know that we're number one charts in almost every category except for country, rock, heavy metal, rock and roll. Like when you turn on the radio, you're gonna hear Lil Baby, you're gonna hear black people. This is well known. Styles in other genres are taken from black people. As a people, we already know we good at music.
But you gotta understand though too, if you're the best at what you do, like you just said, why would you not want to be on the best stage? The Super Bowl?
Honestly, bump the Super Bowl and bump the performance. Like as a people, we shouldn't care about that. This is all bro.
You know why we care so much?
When COVID happened, that was the best thing for our people. You know why? Because we didn't have football and we didn't have basketball.
But we
actually got to sit down and realize the BS that goes on right in front of our faces every day.
But you got to understand our history as well. Like you got people like Elvis Presley that were taken from Muddy Waters and other artists like this. So it's so many stories of us.
Dancing from black people.
I know, but it's so many stories where we were not given our flowers or given opportunities to perform on those stages, and now we're getting these opportunities now.
Though. We have before though.
But why does it?
Rappers this is all BS.
But see, that's another double standard.
Who cares?
That's another double standard. So if it's a different,
don't nobody care that Eminem took a knee, and don't nobody care that it was cool and all. I loved it, I enjoyed it, but we as a people, that ain't what we need to be excited for.
I don't think
it's a stance.
I feel what you're saying. But
this song
I hear you.
This song and dance crowd. Okay,
I hear you.
Okay,
it's more so of the fact of what it represented.
Exactly.
And I hear exactly what you're saying. Because I agree. That's why I had to acknowledge the fact that it may seem like a diversion. You know what I'm saying? Because of all the real issues that are going on, not just in
sports
NFL,
in general,
but in the community.
Sports in general is diversion. But not to go off topic yet, I'm gonna ask y'all that question. But dog, I just don't believe us as a people. This is we don't need to get excited over this. We already know we're good at music. What else do we have to prove music-wise? Let's give an analogy. Let's say we're still all slaves, and white people are throwing a Super Bowl every year, and we don't never get to perform in the Super Bowl, and we just want to so badly, and we're gonna celebrate that because we got to perform the Super Bowl, and then we got to turn around the next day and go back to being black people. That ain't something to celebrate.
So I don't want the cultural significance of the moment to be lost.
It's not.
I hear what you're saying.
It's not that significant though when you go back and look at Super Bowl performers. The last one was black. Weekend is black. Michael Jackson is black. Black people have been performing in the Super Bowl. It just ain't been rappers.
Right.
Who cares?
We're not saying it's different because it's rappers. We're just saying the representation on that stage is beautiful to see as black people.
Of course, it's been black. And of course, it's black people performing in the Super Bowl, right?
I said Lil Baby needs to.
Well, we're gonna really get deep into it. You said, of course, black people perform. What kind of artist is The Weeknd? He's a what? A pop artist, right?
Right.
What kind of artist is
Michael Jackson?
A pop artist, right? So pop music is generally listened to by who? A white audience. No, that is true. White audiences buy pop music and they listen to pop music.
That's not true.
Michael Jackson and
black
The Weeknd
people carry every genre of music, first of all, and we listen to every genre. Only reason pop music is more, it's just more popular, it's more relatable to the white community.
Are we listening to Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande?
We listen to everybody.
But JC,
don't nobody blow up without black people. Let's be clear.
There wasn't no black people listening to Taylor Swift. We didn't make her blow up.
Yes, it is.
We didn't make Taylor Swift blow up.
Kanye West made Taylor Swift.
No, he did not, man. Taylor Swift had stuff going on before Kanye went and said Beyonce deserved that award. Yeah, okay. I was just saying.
I'm saying though,
let's for real be clear though. People don't blow up without black people. If you don't got no black fans, you ain't blowing up.
I don't know. Pop music is different, bro.
Are you kidding me?
It's different. It's different.
Weeknd don't blow up without black people.
That's true. But now, what is he? He's a pop artist.
He's a pop artist, right?
He's approved by the white audience.
Black
Michael Jackson is approved by the white audience. Janet Jackson, pop star.
And that's why it's so important in the music industry to be a breakover artist.
Do anything without any black fans.
That's not the point I'm making.
That's not the point, though.
That's not the point I'm making.
What are you trying to make?
The point that I'm trying to make is specifically
our genre,
rap music
is not in the Super Bowl. Literally, as a people, we should not give a SH. I'm not gonna
specifically though, like that's us though. That's our culture.
Right.
Like you can. I don't want to say whitewash, but you can rationalize Michael Jackson dancing on stage. You can rationalize The Weeknd doing the thing with the bandages on his face, performing songs from After Hours.
Every time.
But how do you think white people felt when they saw Snoop Dogg out there with
crip walking,
exotic dancers and crip walking on stage and stuff? How do you think they felt?
But how do you think worse than me? They probably definitely didn't care.
White people?
No.
I'm saying, how do you think white people? But I'm saying, do you think it was a lot of white people? Because I saw it on social media.
They don't care about
I saw it on social media though.
They were enjoying it. They enjoyed the performance.
They were enjoying it. Yeah,
no,
they
you
love
have
black music.
No, you have to acknowledge the fact that there were several white people who did not appreciate that.
Right.
Like you can't just say, of course they enjoy black music, but you have to acknowledge the fact that there was a lot.
What is some old rappers getting on stage at the Super Bowl changing for the black people?
But listen. People had to crawl for us to be able to walk. Like, people used to have segregated crowds to be able to even perform at the Super Bowl.
For us do is sing, dance, and play basketball and football.
That's not true, though. We're so much more than just rappers and athletes.
They let us do on a global stage and give us flowers for, and we so excited about us getting on stage and singing and dancing.
It's entrepreneurs, it's other stuff.
I mean, I ain't changing nothing for black people.
Of course not. You know, I mean, of course, them getting on stage is gonna change the law.
It's cool now.
Right.
I watch football, so of course I don't want to see.
So now what? Like, so should none of us play football?
Right.
Should we all just leave the NBA? Should we all leave the NFL?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Like, it's like, so why do we perform at the Grammys then? Like, what are we doing?
I guess I'm saying I'm dissing the topic because it really doesn't matter to black people. We're talking about black excellence. We're already excellent at rap. We know this.
So give our artists their flowers performing on that stage, the biggest stage in the world.
With a disclaimer, I said I love this performance. I want to see Lil Baby in the next one. We need more rappers. Cause I watch the Super Bowl and I don't want to see Coldplay perform at halftime.
But you also have to acknowledge the fact that it's 70% black people in the NFL. And what do you think they listen to before games? Rap music.
I just said that. I watched the Super Bowl and I want to see my
biggest stage in the world.
Rap being on the biggest stage in the world means
it's beautiful for us.
Say it doesn't.
I guess. Right.
It's black excellence.
Of course it's not going to change.
Rap's always been on the biggest stage in the world.
No, it is not.
Dog, if you get on your phone
I get it now.
You get on Twitter, you get on TikTok, you get on Instagram, you get on SportsCenter, you get on NBC, you get on ABC. Black people are embedded in the culture and we carry the culture. Why do we need to be on a Super Bowl stage?
What culture are we carrying?
But let me ask you something though, JC.
Our culture.
But let me ask you something.
Our culture is everything.
But what's the Super Bowl though? That's not our culture because there's never been a rapper on the Super Bowl.
It is our culture because
that's the biggest stage in the world.
70% of people in the Super Bowl are black playing the game. It is us. Everything in the world is us.
70% of us are playing, but we can't. But it's one black head coach.
Y'all not grasping what I'm saying, bro.
But see, we're saying it represents more than just rappers performing. That's what we're trying to get at. Like you said, rap has been dominating the industry.
What is it?
The first.
It's
a breakthrough. It's a breakthrough.
That's what I'm saying. Rapper performing, okay, that means something to the culture, but we're already everything.
You're right. It's why are we
symbolic? So why are we? It's symbolic, and that's our problem as a people. Everything is symbolized. Sandra Bland act symbolized. Like every time they make something, it's symbolized, and we don't really dig into the details of what it is. We just you better statue of Martin Luther King. Okay, y'all painted the rose Black Lives Matter in the White House. Clap, clap, clap.
So what
you put that on the sideline, Black Lives Matter, clap, clap, clap. I'm saying we need to stop cherishing people performing Super Bowl like
and
that.
Instead do what? What do we do? Like this is where we really get into it.
I'm saying
what do you think is the next step so we start making action? What do you think we can do so we can stop celebrating stuff like this? So what can we do to create tangible change?
Right.
What do you think?
It's not so much to stop celebrating stuff like this.
So what do we do?
I mean, like, that shouldn't be our near and dear thing to our hearts.
All right, so what do we make near and dear? Nothing?
Nah, not nothing. I'm saying, though, we just, as that topic of, are we like, what was the question? We didn't want to know.
The question was, we were talking about the Super Bowl performance.
We were just talking about
and how it meant for us culturally, the cultural significance of it.
I just don't think that's very significant.
Okay, so let me.
It's significant, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, yeah.
So what's significant then? Give me
some black people got the rap in the Super Bowl.
Give me an example of a culturally significant event that's happened recently when it comes to the black community then.
Brian Flores suing the NFL.
So what's significant about that? What change has that created?
You're shedding actual light on the BS. Why,
shedding light on something doesn't actually do something.
This is what frustrates me about black people. We've given more attention to these folks rapping and a white dude taking a knee in the Super Bowl more than we giving to Brian Flores. Football is a disguise, and basketball is a disguise to what the BS goes on in our everyday lives.
So, I mean, why should we care, though, that Brian Flores is suing the NFL? Like, what does that do for us?
Because he's showing what we were just talking about, these racial differences of how Sha'Carri can smoke weed and not be able to play, and this other white girl, figure skater, can take performance enhancers and play when she goes to committee, but they can't hire black coaches. They give Cliff Kingsbury, we just talked about in the sports park, they give Cliff Kingsbury a deal. So this it's all a facade in that, let's give them rap. Okay, yeah, they rap really good. So let's put their rappers up there, and so they can cheer and they're like, oh my God, this is so significant. Our culture is being represented in the Super Bowl. Man, the whole world's our culture.
So using what you just said, right? Brian Flores shedding light on this. Brian Flores helping, really kind of being a martyr and representing a whole generation of coaches who are rising up and saying why are we not getting these opportunities?
Right.
So you can also make the point that these are artists who are stepping up for the black community and rap as a whole, for being the trailblazers and now being given opportunities that other rappers haven't been given. It's a part of the same token. There was a time that you couldn't even rap in the Super Bowl. There was a time that was a thing. Actually, the first rapper who was in the Super Bowl was Big Boy a few years ago in Atlanta. So he was the first rapper to be in the Super Bowl. But he did half a song for 30 seconds and he was done. This is the first time that rap took center stage in the Super Bowl. Obviously, it doesn't create tangible action for us. Just like Brian Flores suing the NFL doesn't create tangible action for us.
Yeah,
but what it does, just like them being on the Super Bowl and actually finally being on the stage, it blazes a trail for people to come behind them.
Thank you.
That's the whole point.
And then
these are trailblazers. We have to acknowledge that. We'll be remiss if we don't.
It's about money, and if you're not putting rappers up there, people. I mean,
but you gotta understand, those acts have to pay to perform at the Super Bowl.
They're getting paid off of people paying for them to perform though.
Highest rated Super Bowl had freaking Coldplay perform the halftime show though. So I mean, hey.
And then also, let me talk to you.
How much money are we making for?
I don't think it's all that significant as we making it seem.
Okay, so since you're on that, you feel that way. Let's roll over onto this. You said symbolism, it just really doesn't mean as much. Was what Eminem did not a great sign of an action that was taking place by Colin Kaepernick. Now, hold on. Let me get my point across. Eminem was told specifically by the NFL, do not take a knee. Colin Kaepernick was blackballed by the NFL for taking a knee. Flowers to Colin Kaepernick. This is a man who put his life on the line, his potential money coming in on the line, even though he was set for what was going on for us in the black community. Do you not feel like that was a good even though he's not black, Eminem is not black, do you not think that was a good symbol to, on that stage, that performance, and then that to cap it off for us? Or you just gonna keep the same outlook on it?
I don't care about Eminem taking no knee in the Super Bowl.
But see, it's crazy because you're applauding. No, but listen though, you're applauding Brian Flores, right?
Where was Eminem at when Colin Kaepernick was going through all that?
But listen though,
and that's the thing with the Super Bowl performance. Like, where are we at supporting and advocating? We need to be talking about Brian Flores every day, but instead we clapping because we had some black people performing in the Super Bowl, perform rap music in the Super Bowl.
But see, okay, also
instead of fighting civil rights battles, we watching football. Instead of seeing like what laws are being passed, we watching basketball. We want to know if LeBron James gonna win another championship. When George Floyd and all that stuff happened, all these folks had to do was shove us a little bit of football. And oh, poor Georgie, stop getting talked about. All I'm saying is the rapping stuff, that's cool and all, but like, it's whatever, bro. Like, I don't care about Eminem taking no knee. Like, it's significant. In a way, I see what y'all are saying. I'm not disacknowledging y'all point. It's significant, yes. We ain't never really had no rappers like that in Super Bowl. I love it, yes. In the grand scheme of black people and black culture, like, it's a little bit of, how do you put this? I don't know. Kind of like glossing over a ball of poop. Like, kind of spraying for breeze.
But you gotta also
you spraying for breeze in a stank room.
But let me also address something too. It's crazy how we had those performers, right? And the fact the NFL told Eminem do not take a knee. Does that not just show the place of where we still are as a nation? And
it was white.
Okay, but it's just it doesn't matter. The fact that they said don't take a knee just shows the place where we still are in our community and in our.
So Eminem not the cuss on there, and he cussed. I mean, he's white at the end of the day.
Come on. So how do you?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but
I appreciate the solidarity.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it, my boy. But when
him deciding not to, him deciding to do something that he was told not to do, I mean, if Snoop would have took the knee.
If Snoop would have took it, that would have meant so much more to me. I don't want to
say it would mean much more, but I'm saying like he probably would have been like way more under fire. Mm-hmm. And I mean that's part of the double standard, though.
Right? That's why I started off with that.
So
right?
When something really goes down, I want to see Eminem out there on the front lines with Stack Jack sitting up there talking about George Floyd. Or right next to Kaepernick when he come on, when stuff really goes.
I'll give Eminem a little bit of credit though. He was one of the first rappers to shout out Colin Kaepernick in songs. And I know you're gonna say it don't mean nothing, but I mean I'm saying we want to know what you got going on.
I'm not gonna say it on y'all air because this is for y'all.
We can there's a lot of black people who weren't out there on the front lines, but we know what they stand for.
All this shucking and jiving, bro. We shouting out people in rap songs, that don't do nothing.
Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick.
So nothing. I mean, we got to start somewhere.
Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick.
That's where we're starting.
You're talking about.
We've been singing about inequality.
So what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do now?
See, Renzo, look.
You want us to go every single day, marching until everything is trash floor. There's gonna be some small victories, some big victories.
But see, that's the thing. He's not.
Time.
Is this a victory though?
It is. It is. It's making a way for people to come behind them. It's the same way with Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick kneeled for that conversation to even be put on the back of an NFL helmet or put in the back of an NFL end zone.
But do y'all even acknowledge that when y'all watch the game? I don't give a rat's butt about no Black Lives Matter on the sideline. I don't even know it. All I see is Justin Jefferson ingredient. And who throwing Aaron Donald getting sacks? Do y'all not see where I'm getting
It
at,
depends
bro?
on what you focus on.
Yeah.
Do y'all not see where I'm getting at, bro?
I see.
But it's also what we're also saying is it brings attention to us as a community, which is what you're trying to just push to the side, because the people that you're thinking are just watching the game. For those 10 people, it's 5 that are also like, oh man, I saw that as he scored that touchdown. I saw the gritty and it says Black Lives Matter on the back of his helmet, or that end zone has Black Lives Matter in the back of it, or Odell just lifted up his fist, or whatever, or Colin Kaepernick took a knee and sacrificed his whole life, or Nike standing behind Colin Kaepernick and that his whole, because he's really not an athlete anymore.
Nike, bro.
But I'm just saying these things.
You remember what they did to Kobe?
But I'm just telling you that these are things.
These folks be playing us, bro.
Every single thing.
I hope people listening to me is hearing what I'm saying. These folks are playing all this shucking and jiving, all this dancing and jigging is what they've been putting in front of our faces this whole
like
time.
I said,
since we got to this country, this
like
land.
I asked you, what is it that you say that we do?
Right.
Let's publicize more of the good concrete stuff that's going on in the black community that's actually making change.
Okay.
I just seen LeBron James come out with a whole alcohol. Like, that's something that we need to publicize.
Make his
I'm
own
saying,
mind.
like, we just do too much. We do too much talking about and publicizing stuff like that just don't really matter in the end. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna bring an analogy again. When you have a dirty room, do you just spray Febreze every month and hope that the smell goes away? No, you get on your
If
hands.
you do, you got some problems.
Yeah, no, you have real problems.
So
No, you pick up your clothes, you go wash your clothes, you make up your bed, you wash the sheets in the bed and stuff, you light a candle, you sweep, you move your rugs around, you rearrange stuff, and you clean. Like, at the end of the day, all that, the Febreze is the dancing, football, all the social media stuff that they just force feed us every day.
Right.
And the dirty room that just keeps growing month after month is all the racial BS, all the Brian Flores stuff, all the Sha'Carri Richardson stuff, all the people dying from police shootings, all the stuff that's getting swept on the rug, all the people getting locked up for weed, still getting locked up for weed when weed's legal. Like, all this BS is going around us every day. We're not seeing it because we talking about and celebrating Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre crip walking and dancing in the Super Bowl. Who cares?
Okay, JC. So I see your issue is it's more of just symbolizing we idolize the wrong stuff,
Yep.
and we're not putting real action into place. So let me ask you this: us as young, educated black men at a PWI, how can we enhance black excellence or enhance what the point you're trying to get across? How can we do that? Like HBCUs do, or like other areas do.
Every day, whatever your plan is to get generational wealth and to change your circumstance for the future, that's what we need to do. Like, I haven't got all the answers. I'm just saying, like, we need to, what exactly what you said, we need to stop idolizing all this dancing and all this social.
But I'm asking you though, because we're all students at Reinhardt University. So us, like, personally, what can we what do you say we can do to enhance the experience?
Don't be no bum. Do the right things. Do what, at the end of the day, we have to play the game right now because that's what the circumstances we're in right now. But we need to keep making it way so we're moving up in this game, and we can eventually change the rules and change the playing field a little bit.
Right, but we also have to acknowledge stuff like that. I feel like we do. Like, let's just be honest. Say we had an opportunity to get entertainment for an event at Reinhardt.
Right.
Compared to the entertainment that they currently get at events, what kind of entertainment do you think would be receptive to the student body? Do you think it would be like rap and hip hop, or do you think it'd be pop music or something like that?
Honestly, rap and hip hop. Well, I've been saying this whole time that everybody loves rap and hip hop. Don't nobody not like rap.
But you see what I'm saying though? For us, we have to take small steps for bigger steps to be taken. Like, what else?
Instead of advocating us getting a rapper or something for the entertainment, why are we should focus our energy into something more, like maybe up in the black acceptance rate, maybe up in the black
There you go.
scholarship.
That's what I've been wanting to hear from you.
People in school. I ain't got the answer, Sway.
But I know you don't. But see, that's the thing. But see, that's the thing.
I ain't got the answers, but I can acknowledge where we focusing on is some.
But see, that's what I'm saying. We're in Walaska, Georgia. Not too far from Atlanta, where there's a Morehouse, a Spelman.
Trap, let's go.
We have, beautiful HBCUs that are showing us. So what can we do as African American males at other institutions to make some of the same changes that they're making? Renzo, what do you think?
I mean, it's apt. You know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely real. But in terms of that, I mean, there are things that we need to do to be able to create real change. And I think that's the bottom line of everything of what is real change, right? And the world that we're in, I mean, it's I don't want to be one of those people that just always just talk about slavery, but from slavery, where do we go into Reconstruction? What was Reconstruction? And sharecropping. Situations where the country is trying to build itself back from the war, and black people are working closely with former white slave owners, farming, not really getting paid like that, but they have a place to live. Boom. So now we move into Jim Crow. And Jim Crow is systematic, racially charged laws that are put in place in order to keep African Americans from advancing in this society. So, then eventually we have the Civil Rights Movement. We start to rise up. We get the Black Panthers. We get the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. People on both sides of the spectrum, violence and nonviolence. So when was that, though? That was in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. Not that long ago. Some of our, parents, uncles, aunts were fighting on the front lines. You know what I'm saying? So now here we are in this generation, and we're wondering how it's just going to change. Like it's just going to be an answer that happens overnight.
Right.
But this is something that, as a people within this nation, we've been fighting for so long.
They fighting for civil rights. We fighting because we ain't got our rappers in the Super Bowl.
But I'm saying though, like it's something that's been just
We doing a lot more.
fight.
I think we're doing a lot more. We're putting a lot more energy into that type of BS than civil rights.
The actual fight.
So you say we're looking into the wrong things, and I agree. And maybe that's just something that we're so comfortable about the world that we have right now, in the position that we're in, that we just say, hey, I want my rap.
My standpoint is too that I don't know about all that equality stuff either. We need to be focusing more on ourselves, and I don't know.
But we're a nation. We're not separated. I totally get what you're saying, but is that not what the nation is supposed to protect, the equalities of all of us?
It's just why are we trying to be equal so bad? I don't know. I got different type of viewpoints.
I get what you're saying. I totally understand. I like to, speaking on the lastly with that topic of HBCUs and talking about what we can do and versus being at a PWI and just helping overall, I like to shed some light on Deion Sanders coaching at Jackson State, bringing attention to HBCU in Jackson, Mississippi, giving African-American males a great, opportunity to play at a high level and get NFL looks. I'd like to ask y'all if y'all have any specific Black excellence stories that y'all might like to highlight. It could be individual. It could be a person a small business owner. It could be anything.
I love what Deion's doing at Jackson State, by the way.
Okay.
I went to the Celebration Bowl, it was packed, you know what I'm saying? It felt like SEC championship, you know what I mean? So that was cool to see. But in terms of a Black excellence story, I remember you asked me about it before, and, I kind of went into deep thought about this. And the person that I decided to kind of shine a little light on, a trailblazer, a person who the civil rights movement that I just alluded to couldn't have, it wouldn't have been the same without this guy. His name is Byron Rustin.
Okay.
He helped organize the March on Washington, but he did so much more than that. He was an advocate, of course, for nonviolence, and he was a big voice within the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And a lot of what they did in terms of nonviolent movements and organizing the freedom rides, and really helped show Dr. Martin Luther King a lot of different techniques when it comes to nonviolence.
Right.
And also happened to be a gay man at a time where that was very taboo.
That was almost as bad as being Black back then.
Yeah, that was a very taboo thing. So that's why they kind of held him behind the scenes for a while until eventually he decided to come out and be vocal about who he was and his full truth. So regardless of, whatever way we think about race or sexuality, I think we all can take a lesson from Byron Rustin and him not only living in his truth, but also him being so comfortable in himself to take measures to help people and help his community I thought that was very inspirational what he was able to do, and we feel the effects of his work today. So
I totally like that one. JC, you have one? A specific? It could be anybody that you like to shed light on.
Nah, nobody's specific. I can talk specific. It just pops out to me. Shout out all the black people. Shout out all the black people that's doing big things out here. Shout out all black people making money. Keep going. We're probably the best. This is probably the best black people have been situational wise, money wise, ever, and rights wise too, ever. So I mean, we just need to keep going in that direction. I just think where our focus is, like a lot of our focuses are on the BS, which I mean, in a way, we need to focus on the BS. That's our way of making money. But it's a lot. We got a lot of too much focus on.
I like the conversation we had today. I like both outlooks. I like your side, JC. I like your side, Renzo. So this has been the first installment of Black Excellence, and I like to thank ladies and gentlemen, everyone for listening. Thank you all.